As we mentioned earlier this hour, President Trump has increased the pressure on the Justice Department to target his own political rivals. Trump has ordered Attorney General Pam Bondi to bring cases against several of his adversaries, including New York Attorney General Letitia James, former FBI Director James Comey, and Senator Adam Schiff. Joining us now to talk about this is Tom Dupree. He served as Principal Deputy Assistant Attorney General under President George W. Bush. Tom, thank you very much for being with us here today. When a president publicly says that someone should be investigated or charged, how is that received? How might that be received in the Justice Department?
Well, it is a very unusual, in my experience, unique request to have a directive of this nature posted for all the world to see on social media, essentially directing the prosecution of the president's political enemies. I suspect that an order like this does not go over well within the rank and file at the Justice Department. One of the great traditions in America is we have independent prosecutors who make charging decisions based on the evidence, based on what they can persuade a jury to do, who they can persuade a jury to convict. That's what forms the basis for these decisions, whether or not to prosecute, not getting an order from above. So I suspect there will definitely be some feathers ruffled in the rank and file at the Justice Department.
And Tom, I also want to ask you about this. A former personal lawyer for the president, Lindsay Halligan, she was sworn in as the interim U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia today. According to multiple sources, it comes following her predecessor's resignation after coming under pressure to charge New York Attorney General Letitia James. How could bringing in a new U.S. attorney change the direction of a case?
Well, it could change the direction of the case in that the new U.S. attorney might review the same evidence that the prior U.S. attorney reviewed and reach a different conclusion. That new U.S. attorney could look at the evidence that's been gathered and say, you know, I think this actually does provide a sufficient basis to convict. But the new U.S. attorney is going to be placed in a very difficult position because I think the public's perception of the way that all of this went down is going to be that there was immense pressure placed on her to reach the outcome that the president wanted, not necessarily the outcome that she, in her own independent judgment, would have reached.
Now, Tom, if one of these cases were ever brought forward, how might a judge, in your opinion, interpret public comments by a president or other high-ranking political officials? How much influence is there in a situation like that?
The judge would certainly be aware of it. I mean, look, if a prosecution were brought against one of these three individuals mentioned in the president's comments, the judge is going to be well aware of the history that led to this indictment. And I think inevitably it would cause the judge maybe just to give an even more careful look at the evidence to say, is there really an evidentiary basis for bringing these charges, or is this simply a reaction to political pressure? And that's what I meant when I say I think it does make the job more difficult for the new U.S. attorney, because every decision she makes now is going to be viewed through this prism. Is she making the decision she thinks is best based on the evidence, or is she merely responding to the immense political pressure that she's being placed under?
Tom Dupree, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.